I'm Messy Coder back again with another Unity tutorial. This time I'm doing a save system. I've got the manager for my save system. So we started playing about with this in other videos, and this is the big finale. Hello world. Let's create one. There you go. Let's create another one. Call it another one. Oh, that was a mistake. I don't want another one. I just want hello world. Shall we delete it? Yes. Are you sure? Yes, I am sure. Hello world, should we delete you too? Why not? Oh no, are you sure? I've changed my mind. Ha ha! So sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you all in a moment. Hello everyone, we're back inside Unity and we're playing about with the next part of our tutorial. I've made a very basic looking interface here. It's basically a profiles container. I've got a background, we've put a header over here that we've got our header on, and down at the bottom we've got a little panel with buttons. So we've got a button over here, actually nothing on the left hand side, a button over here on the right hand side for create new, and an input here that we're going to be able to put the name in there. We've also got over here a profiles list, which is just a nice big rectangle, and inside that we've got this nice transparent image with a grid layout group. And I've also made this little prefab, and if I drop them in here, you'll see we've made a little prefab, and that little prefab in itself has got a background, it's got a little container for contents in which we've got a profile name at the top, same like we had here. We've got a little label here for last save, and we've got another text which we're going to be updating the value of the save date. And we've got two more funky things. Let me just hide this a second. Oh, actually I won't hide that one, I will show this one. So we've got here a canvas group on actions, well you can't see it, and if I go over here, now you can see. If I go here, no you can't, you get, no you can't, no you can't. Very cool. We make it interactable, and we say that it blocks waycasts, and that it would work. And if we open that up, we'll just see that we've got two buttons, a delete button and a load button, and nothing actually does anything at the moment. And over here we've got the same kind of thing. So if I put that one back down here, and I make this one boop interactable so that it's not see-through anymore, and make sure it blocks waycasts, we'll see that we've got this profile name, are you sure? And here some buttons, and actually that doesn't even need, we can get rid of that. So we've got a cancel button and a yes button, and by using these canvas groups it makes it a lot easier for us to control what we can and can't see. So this one's got a canvas group, actions got a canvas group, and contents also has a canvas group. So I'm just going to apply that change that I just made, and I'm going to delete it from here. Well, I'll show you before I do delete it. If we duplicate this, you'll see the kind of effect that we want to be getting with our profile. So we'll be loading up all of the saves here, and then you can choose which saves you want, and off you go. So let's just delete those, bing, and let's do a little bit of code. So we're going to have a little bit of fun now. So while we're in the folder, let's just right click, create a C# script. I'm going to call this one profiles menu, and this is where most of our functionality is actually going to live. So it does that, but it doesn't actually load anything. So it goes, hey, I'm open, you want to see me? Okay. So inside profiles menu, we're going to be doing three things really. We want to have functionality for new profile. We want to have a functionality for loading a profile, and we want functionality for deleting a profile. And when I say profile, this is basically your collection where your saves are. So you can say load new save, load a save, delete a save, exactly the same thing that we're really doing now. So that's what we want to be doing with this profiles menu. And before we do that, we're going to have a namespace messy, and stick that down the bottom, namespace messy, and inside here we're just going to make a public class, and it's going to be make a scriptable object, and inside here we're going to have a little bit of code that's going to help us make our object. I like this script actually to be used for anything. not just for what we're going to do now. So we're going to make a public static T for generic. We're going to make a generic type here. Create asset. Okay, and we're going to pass through these little T that we're looking for the type that we're going to be doing. In our case, it's going to be a profile, and we want a name. We're going to name it, and we're going to say where T just happens to be a scriptable object, because it's make a scriptable object. Here we go. Now T, we're going to have a T asset and a scriptable object. Create the instance of dinga 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 of T, and boop, over there like that. And down here we're going to say Unity editor full stop asset database create asset, and then asset. We're going to say where the path is going to be. Now we can actually pass that through as well if we really wanted. So we could say, like, you know, up here string name, another string path. So there you go, path plus name plus, let's an asset, always assets, like that. And then Unity editor, engine, no, unit, well, let's just copy that one above it, shall we? Copy Unity editor asset data, because you should just copy that one as well. Save the asset, boom, and then return asset, and hopefully that will stop the squiggles. There you go, we stopped the squiggles. So now we have to worry about when we do call this, we need to use it like this. So we need to say it's going to be create asset, and then you would say profiles like this, and then you would pass through name, and then would pass through assets save profiles like that. So that's how we would use it if we were, when we are going to use it later on. So it's a generic, any type of scriptable object, because we said where the type is scriptable object. Let's start playing about with the actual profiles menu itself. So first of all, let's start declaring some fun things. So public, shall we do a public? Start as we mean to go on, I suppose. Let's go private and game object m_template, and here we'll do a public game object template, and then there'll be get m_template. I think that's a bit safer, isn't it? Return. Oh, silly badger. Return it. There we go. And then we'll say, do the same thing. We need to serialize that. Otherwise we'll never actually grade it out. It warned us. It said, hey, yeah, it's not serialized. Hey, you're never going to be able to use this. We go, oh no, we forgot to do that. So always listen to the editor when it's telling you stuff. That's why I actually stopped using Notepad to do my coding. I was using it for a very long time, and I just couldn't help myself. So I'm just going to paste those in here, and then just transform that into a transform. Transform that into a transform, and call this one list parent. And now that makes life a lot easier. List parent. I only had to change little things, and that we can just going to be doing the rest of these. I'll just pause it for a second so you don't fall asleep. It's pretty straightforward up here. First of all, what I did was added a load of using things at the top. The most important one for now is Text Mesh Pro, and we've also got engine.ui. Make sure that's in there as well. So we've got here these ones that we made just a second ago. Down underneath here, we've got a private dictionary called profile list that's looking for a game object and the scriptable object profile. And then beneath that, we've got a header that we've set, some nice serialized fields for max profiles, and we want just default to be 6. Canvas group, and that's why we've got the UI at the top, and we've called it create profiles group. Here we've got some Text Mesh Pro text, and you can change that to be normal text if you're not using Text Mesh Pro. And we've got an input field, you can change that to be using a normal one if you don't want to use Text Mesh Pro. I've called that profile input. And we've got a standard button and a string that we're getting the value from the text of the input. So passing that through there. Now we're going to play about. We're going to do loading a profile next because it's the easiest one to do. So we're going to do loading a profile. Loading a profile is just going to take advantage of what we've already done in the last video, which was the profiles managers over here. So we're going to be looking at the list that we've got, and if we go back over here, it's just going to be set an active profile, we're going to call it. It's going to look for profiles manager, the list that we've got, and making sure that the count is going to be 0 or less. Really shouldn't be able to have a list that's going to be less than 0, but just in case, I put that in there. I don't know why, I was drunk. Profiles manager.instance is then going to be null, so we're going to null it out. And then we've got here load active profile. So that's passing through a profile, and all we're going to do is set that instance profile, the same as we did this one, to be that profile that we've passed through. That's why the load one is the easiest out of the two. You know, I'm just going to squeeze these close together. The new is going to be a little bit more fun because, well, we need to check that it's when we create it, that it's not already there, and if it's already there, we have to do a bit of logic to it, and then we actually have to even create it. Well, it's going to be lots of fun. I've added in this reset new button method. We're going to use it for making sure that we can see if the button is interactable or not. So how do we want the button to be interactable? Well, it has to have some text in the input field. So first of all, we've got some error handling here, just to make sure there is something in a game object for the button and the input field. We check to make sure, we trim off the fat here with the trim, but we check to make sure there's some text in that input field. If there isn't any text in there, well, then we're going to say that it's interactable is false on the button, so you can't click it. And if there is some text in there, so it's not null or empty, then interactable is set to true for that button. It's very basic, not fancy at all. I've just added in another method like magic. It's called the check profiles list. And this method is to make sure that we can actually add more profiles to our list, or more saves to our saves list. And very simple. That's my chair squeaking on my bum. First of all, we check to make sure we actually have something in the profile group, because this is what we're going to be setting invisible or visible. We're going to say what is our count on that list of profiles? Is it greater or equal to the maximum number of profiles we can have? If that's true, if that is the case, then, well, our interactable is going to be set to false for the profile group, and we're going to set the alpha to 0. And basically that means that the container that holds our button and that input field is going to vanish, so you can't actually add anything more. What's the best way to stop you adding things? Well, make them disappear, then people can't click them. The other option is make it true and visible. Fantastic. And then why don't we just go along and say if the count is 0 for the profile list, then we can actually go ahead and select it, the profile input.select, dun, 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 and then we're going to reset the button. And that way, after all of this is said and done, if we've got no profiles in our list, it will go straight into the input field. We can then type away, create our profile, click enter, create it, and boom, Jack's your uncle. Is it Jack's your uncle? Or Bob's your uncle? Who's Jack? I've got no idea who Jack is. Is Jack your aunt? And again, like magic, we got another method just appeared out of the sky, out of thin air even. Select first is its name, and we're going to check to see that we've got something in our profile list. So it's got to have a count more than 0, and we select the selected game object in our event system as null. So we've selected nothing. We go, nothing is selected. Then we're going to enumerate through our list, and on enumerator.move next, we go along and we select the actual enumerator current key and get button select. And then what we're going to do is break out that. Now that's cheeky, because you could basically do this to say grab the first button in this list and just select that one if you wanted. But I went down this lazy route of going, you know what, we're going to enumerate through it and do it that way. Popping back into Unity, we need to create another object. I'm going to go here, C# script. It's going to be called profiles menu item. because this is going to be the actual item that sits in the menu. I'm going to just open that up, and over here we're going to put a namespace messy at the top and at the bottom. Through the magic of pausing and unpausing and a lot of recording buttons, we've got here TMP or TM Pro put into the top. Also just threw in the engine.ui and event system, because you never know, we might use them in a bit. Also we've got here, you recognise these from before, a profile contents, a profile name, profile last save, and action contents group, canvas group, and a confirm contents canvas group. And over here, a profiles menu, because we made that profiles menu over there. We're going to be returning get component in its parent. Dun, dun, dun. Now that means that one of the parents, that, you know, because you can have lots of parents, you have parent, grandparent, great grandparent, great grandparent, has to have the profiles menu sitting in it as a component, and it will do. So that's good, isn't it? Okie dokie, let's start throwing in a load of methods, and then we'll quickly jump back into the other script and finish what we were doing there. Well, the first method we've got is called setProfile. Very easy enough. It passes through a profile name, and it says mProfile is going to be this profile name. And then we've got setProfileName. What's the name of it? So actually, let's put through profile name.text, because we've got a text element on the page, pass it through the same thing. And again, what have we got here? Set profile save. So we've got to name the save, don't we? So we'll find profile last save.text, and we'll give it this string value as its name. Great. What's the next thing we're going to do? Load up the profile. Well, we've got the profiles menu that we had a moment ago, and don't forget we created load active profile as a method. It's public, so we're passing through this value here that we've got in the variable in this script, and then we also throw out a debug there just so you can see it working. And then we've got deselect. Also, we've got a deselect method that we can call, and the event system current selected game object is going to be null. So this deselect method basically says, hey, select nothing. And then we've got select button method, which we're passing through a button. Can you guess what it does? That's right, it finds that button and it selects it. Exciting. Now I've got a delete self that I've commented out, and we're going to be making a method on that profiles menu script called delete profile, and it's going to be looking for an object, and we're going to pass through this game object, so we're going to delete itself. And then we've got two methods that we use, and the show canvas, hide canvas, and they do the opposite of each other. So show canvas, ask for what canvas do you want, so the alpha to be set to 1, interactable to be true, block raycast to be true, and then the hide canvas says what do you want me to put the alpha to 0, interactable, false, and block raycast to false. That's pretty much all it does. And then we're going to, you know what we're going to do? We're going to uncomment this because we're crazy. It's going to go red squiggle time, and then we're going to save it, pop over here, and we're going to start editing. We're not going to pop back into Unity so it doesn't give it a chance to come hard and go crazy, but we're going to do some magic, and then by the time we go into Unity, all of the red squiggles will be gone. Ta-da! Here's our new method, instantiate profile UI, and it passes through a profile that is a profile script object. So we're first of all checking, make sure that's not null, and that the template isn't null, because don't forget, up at the top over here, we've got a template. So we can actually pass through to make sure that isn't null, but just to make sure, I was saying, hey, you know, this one isn't going to be null. And scroll all the way down here. So game object that we're going to create is going to be called profile item. We're going to instantiate it from the template prefab. We're also going to set its position and its rotation, and also we're going to set its parent to be the list parent. And then we're checking to make sure that we go profile item, that's this thing, get component profiles menu, and that is the one that we just made a second ago. That's going to live on this prefab, and set profile method, and we're passing through profile that we had over here. And I forget we made that method a second ago over here. Set profile. And then down here we're saying string name is the profile name. And we're making sure that it's not null empty, profile.profile name. We can actually trim that off as well if we wanted, like we did up here. So if you go to thank you baked potato, like that, see that trim? You don't really need it, but you know, because I don't think you possibly can have a space in the name, but you know, you could stick that in there if you wanted. I'm not going to do it, but you know, you could if you wanted. So anyway, go back, where were we? Here. So string name, blah, blah, blah. Is it null or empty? Blah, blah, blah. And then we say name is going to be profile.profile name. Profile item dot name is, and a profile with a colon here. We've got end that with a space to make sure a little bit of space. And then we've got space name, and that is this little badger that we set. Don't forget that we did set a default value for it, so even if this comes along and finds nothing, it will still have a value. And then we've got profile item.get component, profiles menu, set profile name. Again, that's the method that we made over here. We're passing through name and profile blah blah blah, profiles items, shenanigan, set profile save, this little fellow here, set profile save, and it passes through the profile.last save, because that was when it was last saved. Last save, I give you my heart. Okay, down here, profile list dot add. Now we need to add an item to the list. So we've instantiated it in the world, but our list still doesn't know it exists. So we're adding to our dictionary list that we've got here. We're saying profile item, which is the game object of this little thing, but we instantiated, and profile is the actual scriptable object profile. Now our dictionary has these two things in there. We should actually call it profile dict, but you know what? It's a family channel, so we're going to leave it with profile list. And then we've got profile item.get component button. So find the button that's going to be on that prefab that we've got here and select it. Oh, wonderful. So all of that was a bit of writing. You pause it, have a look at it now. Good, let's carry on to the next one. Now we've got a very messy little method here called create profile dictionary, because it's all well and good, this up here instantiating things and adding things to dictionaries, but if that never gets called, then it will never get added. So we're going to go through the list that we have of our profiles, and we're going to go through each one, making sure there's actually something in there, and we're going to set our instantiate profile UI by passing through that item. Now if it is null, so we've got nothing in there, we're just going to continue to the next one until we find. So we could actually have an empty item in our list. It has happened to me when I've been mucking about, and if it happens to you, this little badger here will protect you. So if there's an empty item in your list, doesn't have a profile listed in there, then it will just skip it, go to the next one, and you won't get any weird errors. Okay, that's what that does. So this goes through and then calls this, which will instantiate the object and then add it into the dictionary. Before we create, we're going to destroy. So here's a method, remove profiles from the scene. Basically what it does is we'll clear out our dictionary, and then we'll go through all of the children that's in the list and we'll destroy them. Destroy them! And then they'll be gone. It's quite aggressive really, that one. And here is the beast, the destroyer of worlds, the delete profile method that we're passing through a game object of profile item. And then we're using that to check the dictionary. Don't forget our dictionary looks for a key, which is the game object, and it has the value, which is the profile. So we're saying, does it have this key of this game object? And then it goes through and says, we're going to make a new profile, and here we've got profiles list, try to get the value of profile item and output that value into here. Oh, that's right. Interesting one. Here we're checking that the path exists for that profile. We're checking out that the meta path exists for it, and we've done a little bit of renaming in there that we've replaced asset with asset.meta. And then we go through and say, everyone in our list that we've got, let's go through, see if they match the names. If they do match, then let's just remove it from the list, okay? And then break out of that, so we don't have to keep on looking, because there's only ever going to be one of them that matches the name exactly in the list. So that's now removed it from the list. So that's cool. What's next? We have to remove it from the scene, so we can destroy it. Destroy. Very violent. That profile item, that game object. So then we've got remove it from the dictionary. So we'll go for the list, remove it, the profile item from the dictionary. Get very violent. Clear if it's the current value. What if we actually had that as our active? Maybe we selected it, load, and then we delete it. We need to clear it. So set the instance profile to null. Now this is where it gets really, 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 really aggressive. We're actually going to check to make sure that the file exists, and then we're going to delete it. And then we're going to check that the meta file exists, and then we're going to delete it. And now it's gone. It's gone from your computer. And then we use this little refresh editor project window method that is just this, where it says asset database refresh. And then we select the first one in our list, again, and then we check to make sure that our list is fine and that we can actually add things. So here we go, select the first one. We did it before. It was, where was it? It was down the bottom. And it goes, is there anything in the list? Let's get the first one in the list and select it. That's all that one's doing, really. So if there was nothing in the list, then he wouldn't actually be able to select anything. Oh dear, that's sad. Instead, he would go and select the editor, the input window. So that's the delete. The delete, dangerous delete, DD. Oh. And actually, you know, talking about buttons and selecting and stuff, let's just make a method, select button, pass through parameter button, and all it does is select that button. I mean, you know, we've got those already in Unity, but why not just make our own quick little method, select the button. Right, let's scroll back up to new. There it is, new profile. Let's pause it, do some magic, and then input in a load of code. And here it is. It's a big one. We've got new profile, a load of text. First of all, we've got error handling that'll kick us out, and we're setting a null for our new profile's profile. And then we're going to check, we're going to put this in a string called file path, so we can check if this file does exist. We're looking for it in our folder, save profiles, with the name of what we typed in that field to create a new one, making it to a string. Don't really need it, but I'm doing it anyway, and putting .assets at the end of it. Now, if it does exist, then we're going to look for that for all of the profiles that we have saved on our device, and we're going to stick them in an array called profiles for profiles. We're also going to go through our list that we have. So if what we're looking for, if our list item actually at the moment while we're for looping has something in there to begin with, and the name of that profile in the list matches what we've typed in our save, then we know that it already is in our list. So if we've got Badger already in our list and we're making a new save called Badger, then we're going to be sticking the number of badgers at the end of it. So if there already is a badger, it means that there's one badger already. So then the length is 1, and we can easily get away with putting badger brackets 1 close brackets, because we know there isn't already going to be one in there. If we did have one called badger 1 already, then it would be badger 1 parentheses 1 close parentheses. Oh, that's weird, isn't it? So then we're also going to create an asset using our create asset method that we had all the way up here. And you remember that it was looking for two things. It was looking for a name, and it was looking for a place to stick it. And then we'll break out of that. Now otherwise, if it wasn't in our list, so if we didn't already have something in our counter, we went through and found it, well, if it wasn't there, then it's obviously got to be somewhere on the computer, because our profiles has something in there. So if profile's null, which means we don't actually have it, then the profile's length is greater than 0, so we do have something in our profiles, then just make our profile, our current profile here, the first profile in our list that we found on our computer. And if you found more than one, then it's your own fault. So it could be more than one in different folders. Don't have more than one in different folders. Now if it doesn't already exist, then we're just going to make a new one. So profile is going to end up being create an asset, and then it's going to be exactly the same as we had up here, but without the plus multiple. So it's the name of what we typed in and where we're going to stick it. And now at the end of it, we're just going to clear out the text. So we're making it empty. The input field, we're making it empty. The button, we're turning it off. We're going to add to our list this profile. Lovely. We're going to use our instantiate profile UI so we can actually generate the item in our canvas, and also add it to the dictionary while we're at it, and then we're going to sort our list. Lovely. We're going to remove all of the profiles from our scene, and then we're going to create them again. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. And then we're going to set the active profile, check to make sure we haven't maxed out, so we can still get that button at the bottom of the screen, and then we're going to select the first one. Oh, that's a lot of waffling, isn't it? But I mean, if I scroll up here to the top, you can see it. Have a look. Pause it. Have you written that down? Good. And down here, pause it. Have you written that down? Good. And then we're just finishing off with this bit at the bottom. That's a lot. There's a lot of stuff in this class. There's a lot of stuff going on. Not too complicated. Nothing complicated in this. Just a lot of writing. A bit of a pain in the bum. Hopefully, when my asset comes out, you can just buy it and make yourself happy. Now we've got an update and a start. We just need to finish off with our nice little start and awake, and then we're done. And that's it, that's all it is. We're checking to make sure that we've got an instance. If we do, then we're going to sort our list. We're going to create our dictionary, check our profile list, set the active profile, all on awake, and then when we start, which is a little bit after that, we're going to select the first thing that we've got in our profiles list. And if we save that, and whenever we can pop back to menu item, we shouldn't have any squiggles. Yes. Look, where was it? On the deselect or delete self, that was it. It doesn't have a squiggle anymore because now we can find it. The delete method profile. Because he's a public little badger. Lovely jubbly. Now here in Unity is where it gets quite boring. Because at this point, all we're going to do, if I go to the profiles here, actually right up here to the profiles, you can actually stick it anywhere you want really. But I'm just sticking it on the profiles to get it out of the way. I'm going to drag over my menu, profiles menu script, and the template, I'm going to drag this little badger into here. We haven't finished with him yet, but I'm just going to drag him in for now. List parent is going to be our profiles layout, which is this little thing here, which we have our grid on. I'm going to say the maximum number of profiles is 6. You can do that wherever you want. You can even put a scroll here and just keep on having a slider, go up and down, have more and more, 100, 20, million, who knows. And then we're going to have our buttons canvas group over here. Boom. Create profile group on that one. And we've got to have profile text is going to be our text create new. Hang on. Open that up. Text area. Open that up. Text. Drag that little badger into there because that's the text we have in our input area. And then, actually, you know what? Drag the whole lot here into the profile input and drag the button into here. Oh, that's lovely. So we've got a button for our create profile button, input for our input, text of the input for our text, the group of our buttons, which is this group here. You could even have put that canvas group here on buttons panel. It's up to you if you wanted to. The profile layout, for those who are wondering what it is, it's this one again with the grid on it. And our template is this panel. As I say, all of that is a little bit of a pain in the bum. Now, talking about pains in the bum, we need to go here and play about with our input, add some things in our, well, it depends what version of Unity you're using. This looks a bit weird of using the new one. So this is our input field from TextMesh Pro. And it allows us to add a little bit of functionality in there. Oh, hang on, where's it gone? There it is. Scroll down here. Find our on end edit, click on the plate on the little plus button here and drag in our profile. Do it again, boom, and then drag in our profile. So we want two things. One of them we want to be is our profiles menu and a select button. So there's our select button. Just going to drag in the create new button. So when we finish typing, it will automatically select this. And then we also want to go profiles menu and reset new button as well. Lovely. Now we also really should add events trigger. Alright, Del. And we click add new event type, and that one's going to be the cancel because we want a little bit of rounding on it. Going to add that in there. Drag back in our profile, and on cancel, it's going to be menus cancel invoke. There it is. And we got two of them. You'll notice cancel invoke and cancel invoke with a string. We want the one without a string. Okie dokie. So that I think is done for the input. Now the create, here we need to do a little bit of work on that as well. So if we add two things on the button, boop, boop, and we drag in again profiles, because that's where all the magic is living on at the moment. So we've got profiles. The first method that we want to have is profiles menu, the new, where are you little badger? We want new, bum. Where are you? New profile, there it is. It's hiding. It was hiding alphabetically. And then again, we want to have, it doesn't look alphabetical to me. Okay. We're going to have sort. Where is profiles manager sort? We do not make a sort. Oh, I'm sure we were going to make a sort. So otherwise, how are we going to sort it? Oh, hang on. It's not going to be on here, is it? It's in the Profiles Manager, not in here. Oh dear, oh dear. So let's delete that out of there. Now we actually need to create a Profiles Manager. Don't forget, Profiles Manager is where all of the profile magic is actually going to get saved. So if we don't have one, we're in trouble. Let's right click, and you know I'm going to stick it in Save Profiles actually. Right click, Create, Messy, Create Profiles Manager, and I'm going to call this one Profiles Manager. And when we look at it, this is our list. See, we've got our active profile in there and our profiles list there. So if I go back to our button and now drag in our Profiles Manager, there we go, Profiles Manager sort list, there it is. I was saying I knew we had the sort list because I remember calling it, and it was there in the Profiles menu. So we've got our buttons, functionality on our buttons now, that's good. Now what we can also do is go back here to the profiles. I'm just going to drag in here this button, and then we can muck about over here, and then we can apply it and save it to the prefab. Just makes it a little bit easier. I like it doing this way rather than editing in the prefab directly. You know, when you can go and open prefab even, and edit it that way. I prefer this way. I prefer it much better. So on the actual panel itself, we've got our button. We also want to put plus event trigger on there. So we're going to need a few things happening on the click. So 4, I think, actually we're going to need. So if we now drag in panel itself, because it's the script that we're going to be wanting lives on himself, drag all those little things in. And all this is going to be doing is like hide and showing canvases. Hide show canvas, hide show canvas, hide show canvas, select something. So we go to, where are you, little badger? Oh, there's actually one thing we forgot to do. We can go all well and good us doing stuff, but we haven't actually dragged on our. Well, you lose the prefab. Are you sure you want to do that? No. Ow, how annoying. Can I just drag it in at the bottom? There we go. That's better. So we can drag it at the bottom and it won't lose the prefab. So now we've got our profiles menu item script added onto it. I was wondering, why can't I see it? Because it doesn't exist. You need to actually add it on there. So let's drag in our contents. Let's drag in our action. Let's drag our confirmation. Let's open up the contents. Put the profile name there because that's not going to change. And the last save value, not the label. There we go. And the profiles we leave blank because that will get updated in one time. Right. So now when I go to on click, I've got profiles menu item where we didn't have before because it wasn't even attached to the object. And now we want to have our action, which is show canvas, show. I'm telling you, it's not alphabetical. Show canvas. Okay, maybe it is. So there's show canvas for the first one, and then we want to do Heidi's H for hide canvas, and then we want to do another show canvas, still in the same place before, and then a select button. Do you remember we added that one? We're like, should we just stick a select button in? Yeah, let's do it. But we could have dragged this button script in itself and said select me as well. We could have done that. You know, because that select button script lives everywhere in the world, but we don't want to do that. So I'm going to do this, and basically let's open up our actions buttons. Here they are. We're going to drag in the load on the select, so that's the first thing we want to select when we click it, and the actions is going to be what we're going to see because that load lives inside actions. We're going to make sure the confirmation is actually hidden, so we never want to see the confirmation, and just in case we'll have the contents as visible as well. There we go. So when we select, those are the 4 things that happen. We show the canvas for the action items, we hide the canvas for the confirmation just in case they were there, and just in case it wasn't shown, we also show the contents, which, you know, should be there shown. And we also then select this button which lives on the load object. And we've got here add new event types, and they're also going to be boom on select. So these are on the clicks rather. So when we click, that will happen. So what happens when you just use your keyboard or your controller and then you move from one button to the other and you select them? Well, we want the same kind of things to happen pretty much. So we want 3 things to happen, because we don't have to worry about selecting the button because we haven't clicked it yet, to be honest. So we're going to drag in the 3, boom, panel into the 3 things, boop, and beep, and then we're going to go function, profiles, and then you guessed it, we're going to do hides and shows. So hide, show and tell. There we go, show canvas. So the first one we're going to be hiding is the actions, because we haven't clicked it, so it shouldn't be showing the actions yet. We want to hide the confirmations, and we want to make sure that the contents are visible. That's lovely. And talking about buttons and things, we just want to make sure that navigation is set to automatic. Now, if we're talking about buttons, we're going to go over to this button, and you see here, navigation is set to none. That's not good. So we want to be able to navigate when we're on the delete. So we're going to change that to be explicit, and on up is the panel, and on right is the load. So on right is the load. You can see it's already there. I was playing about with this, and the panel is up. So you just drag in the panel on the up. That's lovely. Now I'm going to be doing a load of boring stuff, like adding a load of things in, so I'm just going to pause it, add them all in, and then just talk you through them really quickly. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is hide the actions again, hide the confirmation or the contents again, and showing the confirmation. And we're also, the button that we're going to select is the cancel. Now you notice it's pretty much identical to what we did over here on the button itself. So we did a show hide, we did a show hide show. This time we're doing a hide show and a select. We're also going to click on here and add another event trigger, and I'm going to add event types that are cancel. So let's click on the plus and another plus, and let's drag over the panel and panel and panel. We need a 4th one. I don't think we do. Get rid of that. And we're going to say that on cancel, actually, you know what? Let's do it. Panel. And this last one's going to be select button, select the panel. We're going to go hide. No, you know what? We'll say show canvas, and we'll show the contents. We'll say hide. Hiding the canvas. We'll hide the confirmation, and hide canvas the actions. Here we go. So we've got hide actions, hide confirmation, show contents, and on cancel we're going to be selecting the main panel. Let's go over to the load. Let's click plus, and drop in the panels. Oh, missed him. Panel and panel and panel and panel, and in here let's select boop boop boop. Let's go deselect. Here we go profiles, load. Here we'll go profiles, menus, hide canvas, actions, and here we'll go profiles, show canvas, and we'll show the contents. Boom. And we'll pop back over to delete, grab this here, this cancel event, and go over here and paste it in as a new one. And let's change the navigation explicit, and on up it's going to be panel, and on left it's going to be delete. Beautiful. And then we'll put over to the cancel and the yes one next. So let's do the cancel one first. Cancel is pretty much going to be like in the delete. Actually, yeah, pretty much like the delete. So let's go to the delete, select, copy him, go to the cancel, paste in the values, drag in the target graphic so we know that it's okay. Change the load to be yes, keep the panel on the top, and it's going to be hide action, hide the confirmation, show the contents, and instead of being the cancel button, it's going to be the panel, because it's basically resetting. And let's pop back over to delete and grab this copy, cancel, go back over to the cancel, and paste it in as new. Lovely. So job's good on that one. Let's pop back over and then do the same with the yes. And let's just, oh, we got that in clipboard? Yeah, copy, yeah. Go over to the yes, paste that in it as a new, change that navigation to be explicit, drag in the cancel on the left and the panel on the top, and let's click on that little plus on there, drag in the panel, and he's saying yes, he wants to delete, so let's go and delete self. Brilliant, that's that done. We've got our cancel, we've got our buttons, we've got here on the cancel, and there, click on the cancel. Pretty much the same thing as the do. We've got our load, we've got our load cancel things over here, we've got our delete here, and he's saying on our delete cancel, and we've got our panel itself as well. Let's just save that. Boop. I'm going to click play, and then I'm going to click it. Yay! Brilliant. Fantastic. Right, let's delete this panel. We don't need it anymore. Here, let's just click apply, make sure it's all applied, and then delete this panel. We don't need it anymore. We have our profile in the save. There's our profile manager. It's in there. It's got nothing in there at the moment. Lovely. Perfect. Just how we like it. I'm going to click play, and then what's going to happen? Oh, it's actually on. It's going to go, is it going to do anything? But because it wasn't big, didn't really notice it. So now we click it, play. See, now it's flashing over there. My first save. Click enter, and now I can actually boom, and there it is, my first save, and it's selected. I'm going to go my second save, and let's create it. Brilliant. Let's make badger. Let's make another badger. Look, and there's the, we'll see what's talking about, badger with a 1 in it, because that's the second badger. Now, as an accident, I don't want that one, so let's click it. Oh look, by default, load was selected. Click delete. Are you sure? And then we go, yes, I am sure, and then it's deleted. We're going to say, let's delete, let's do it with the cursors. Let's delete this one. Are you sure? Yes, I am sure. Brilliant. Let's load. Boom. And it's doing its magic in the background, which really, we could have it then trigger and load the next scene. Fantastic. You don't believe me, do you? You don't believe me at all. There you go, my first save. It's in there. If we unselect that and go boom over here, and I'll select, there you go, my second save. And if we add another one, hello, you see, hello is now at the top. And if I type in and say a shoe, because it begins with an A, boom, a shoe is at the top. Wonderful. That's it. That's your saves. It's done. Go have a taco or something, because we're done. It was longer than we thought it was going to be, but I think we're happy. Jobs are good one. That's it. If you do like these videos, click on that big juicy red subscribe button down below. Tell all of your friends, neighbours, random people on the street. That mess is getting messy. So if you do like it, click it. Till next time.
If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now. And down below, there's that big juicy subscribe button. And right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.